So I'm Jennifer from the Family Resource Center, and this is Yia Lore from UW Extension, and we're really excited to share with you about Triple P. Maybe, Yia, can you talk through what we're going to be doing in the next 90 minutes together?
Yes. So in the next hour and a half, we're going to be sharing with you a lot of information. So we've got personal testimonials from parents who've experienced Triple P, and then practitioners from the 12 agencies who have been trained in the program, like Jennifer from Family Resource Center, and then me from Extension. And then we'll also be taking questions as well too. So throughout our event, feel free to use the Zoom chat. You can also use the Facebook comments. We have folks on our team who are monitoring both areas. And then about every 15 minutes or so, we will be doing drawings from a hat for our winners of children's books. And then we have $75 gift cards to local restaurants. So to win the first basket, you can type your name in the chat. So if you're joining us via Zoom, throw your name in the chat. If you're on Facebook, throw your name in the Facebook as well too. And I will be adding your names into our hat, and then we'll do our drawing. So before the first drawing though, Jennifer, I bet there's a lot of people who are joining us, and this might be their first time hearing about Triple P. So could you share a little bit more about what it is?
Sure. So Triple P stands for Positive Parenting Program. And it was started 40 years ago by Matt Sanders, a psychologist in Australia. So in a lot of the Triple P things, you get to hear an Australian accent. It's not just one program, but it's actually many different interlocking programs. So the idea is that wherever parents are and whatever they're dealing with, Triple P will have a convenient way for them to access information. It could be a 90-minute seminar, or a discussion group with other parents who are dealing with the same problem. Or it could just be one-on-one with a Triple P coach like myself or Yia, or quite a number of others, to deal with any of the, I think there's 44 different problems that we are trained to help you through that parents commonly deal with. All the programs are free, thanks to a wonderful grant from the Wisconsin Prevention Board. And each of these programs comes with its own, we call them tip sheets, but it's basically a handout that's really super helpful. Those were paid for by the Eau Claire Women's Giving Circle. So Eau Claire is super lucky to have such great organizations supporting Triple P.
Okay, so it sounds like, so Triple P is, if it's not really a program, is it more of like a philosophy? Is that what you would call it?
Kind of. Parents ultimately make their own decisions about the values and the skills they want to support in their children. So Triple P is not looking to change that. I guess the way I look at it is really it's about strategies, giving parents different strategies that have been proven to work that they can choose to tweak whatever parenting philosophy they have. One thing that we know is that kids do better when their parents feel confident in their own parenting skills. So a big part of Triple P is supporting parents in their choices. So the idea is really not to change your parenting approach or philosophy, but more to tweak it to be as effective as possible. So one of our taglines is small changes, big differences. And I think that's really accurate. So just making small changes can make your home life much more positive.
Jennifer, are you able to share with us an example?
Well, from my own experience, I guess my son is 18, so he is really not in the age range of Triple P, because there's 0 to 12, and then there's actually teen Triple P, which is 13 to 16. But even though he's 18, because I've been teaching these strategies so much, I found I've started using them without really even trying. Like an example might be telling him specifically the things that he's done that I appreciate, like sure, it's his job to clean up after himself, but I will make a point to say, hey, thanks for taking your stuff back up to your room. I really appreciate, how much better the house looks now. It just sets like a more positive tone for our day. Everybody likes to be thanked. And like Triple P says, if you compliment the behaviors you like, you're going to see those behaviors more often. Another thing is Triple P reminds us nobody is perfect, and we shouldn't overreact to things that go wrong. Life has ups and downs, and that's normal. So when my son takes the shirt that he wants out of the dryer and strews his clean clothes all over the laundry room, I take a deep breath and don't overreact or use an exasperated tone or start to lecture or complain like I probably would have. Instead, I'll just ask in a pleasant tone, what's our rule? Maybe texting him a picture of the stuff all over the laundry room, and he'll kind of laugh. But I notice he cleans up after himself without any of the unpleasantness that we had before. And if I forget to clean up after myself in the kitchen, he'll point to the greasy frying pan and say to me, what is our rule? And we'll both laugh. So these are small examples, but they really have made my home life more positive.
Well, that's great. Those are really great strategies, Jennifer. Thank you for sharing. So in Triple P, we call them descriptive praise. So complimenting the behaviors that you like, so you will see them more often, and developing house rules that you can refer back to, like, in this house, everyone cleans up after themselves. Then you can just use a friendly prompt. It might be, what is our rule? And there are 17 specific Triple P strategies like these that parents can try. And I hope that we can teach a number of these today during our event. So parents, caregivers, anyone out there who wants to collect these strategies, I'd encourage you to write down descriptive praise or praising the behavior that you want to see more often, and then house rules. So what is our rule? So you have 2 of the 17 already then. And then also, if there are any of the strategies that we talk about throughout the event that maybe just doesn't sound quite clear, or you want a little bit more of an explanation, please feel free to chime in on the chat, whether it's Zoom or Facebook. We're happy to clarify things. And then I'm just going to check the chat box right now, and I do not see any questions in Zoom. I'm not sure about Facebook, so if there are questions in the Facebook, we'll have our team who are monitoring Facebook let us know. And then just a reminder too to throw your names in the chat, Zoom and Facebook, if you're joining us, so that we can get you in the drawing for our first drawing then. All right, so let's see. So before going back to more Triple P strategies, Jennifer, can you say a little bit more about the grant and the different local organizations that have been trained in Triple P, if folks are out there and they're wanting to find a Triple P provider?
Sure. So 3 years ago, the Family Resource Center wrote a grant to the Wisconsin Board for the Prevention of Child Abuse and Neglect to bring Triple P to Eau Claire. And we got a 3-year capacity building grant to train local providers in different Triple P programs. So the Family Resource Center is the lead organization, and we're now 2 years into the grant, and we've been able to reach out to a number of wonderful organizations in town. So the YMCA of the Greater Chippewa Valley, the Eau Claire School System, the Augusta School System, DHS, UW Eau Claire's Nature Academy, and Create a World Preschool. If somebody wants to get connected with a Triple P provider, they can always reach out to us. And UW Extension has you, Yia, and I know you're offering the seminar soon. Is that right?
Yeah, so actually yesterday we provided our very first seminar in our series. So I'm doing a series with my extension team, and we presented last night on positive parenting. And then next Wednesday at 6, we'll be presenting our second one, which is focused on raising confident children. And then we'll wrap up our final one the following Wednesday, also at 6, where we'll present on raising resilient kiddos. And so you can sign up. We have information on our extension website, but I will also, during my little bit of a break, I think I'll have some break time here, I'll throw in a link in the chat box as well too via Zoom, and then I'll see if our Facebook folks can also, our team can also throw that into their the comment box, so folks can sign up if you're interested.
Yeah, and the Family Resource Center also is offering seminars, so it's wonderful having so many great partners, and ours are June 15th, July 20th, and August 17th. We are also offering a discussion group on fighting and aggression, and that will be May 28th at 8 p.m. And if people are interested, they can sign up at frcec.org or call us to get hooked up with a triple P provider if you want that kind of one-on-one support. And like we said before, all of these options are free to parents. Oh, I forgot to say before, we have trained folks from all 4 medical centers in town. So Mayo, Marshfield Clinic, Prevea Health, and Oakleaf. So the idea is wherever parents are, if they want to get triple P help, it should be easy.
And that's wonderful. So I love that about Triple P. And I just want to put a call out there as well too. So if there are organizations out there that are listening or you're not connected with Triple P yet, or if you know of organizations that might be a good partner and with folks who are interested in being trained, we still have openings to become a provider. So please reach out to us.
Yeah, and I'm also, if there are triple P providers on this call, I'm hoping that we can hear from them. We have wonderful folks, Robert Bullwinkle from Marshfield Clinic, or Katie LaRusso at Create a World Preschool. Actually, I shouldn't say anybody's names because they're all so wonderful, but don't be shy. If you're a triple P provider, feel free to call in, or just in the chat, tell us what it's been like for you to get trained in triple P. So in case somebody wants to learn about that, what is that experience? And then maybe which triple P strategy have you personally found most helpful and why?
That's a great idea, Jennifer. So while we wait, it's almost time for our first drawing. So again, folks who are joining us via Zoom, or if you're out there on Facebook land, please make sure to enter your full name into the chat if you're interested in participating. So we're giving away kiddos books, and then we're also giving away $75 gift cards to local restaurants. And then I should also say too that if you win, you will have to come to the Claire Family Resource Center to pick up your prize. So if you are watching from Florida or Ohio, that might be an issue. I know we have had folks from outside of our area participate in our seminars, which is great. But sorry to all of you because you will need to pick up your prize in person.
Absolutely.
So let's see here. So before we do the drawing, let's hear from Carolyn Wee with the YMCA of the Greater Triple Valley. So hello to Carolyn, is she on?
Caroline? I'm hoping we can get her to share her favorite strategy. I will say it is absolutely true, Yia, what you said about people from all over attending our seminars. We had somebody from Canada and somebody from Florida.
Let's see. So I don't see Carolyn on the call. I don't know if she's got a pre-recorded video we can play. If not, I think we could.
Caroline's coming.
Oh, she is. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. All right. So maybe I'll just pause here and just a quick reminder to folks that we are about to do our very first drawing. So I see names are coming in right now. So I'm going to start throwing names into our wheel of names, and then we'll generate a winner from that then.
So Nancy wrote, I love this concept. I wish these resources were here when my kids were little. I felt that exactly when I got trained in triple P. I was like, where was this when my child was small?
Hi everyone, it's Caroline from the YMCA. I am here to just chat about a triple P and my experience with it. So I became a triple P provider because just about every family that walks through our doors is looking for help on raising their child and the challenges that it brings, because everyone has those challenges. No one child or one human being is perfect all the time. And we want what's best for our child and want them to grow up to be healthy and happy and well adjusted. What I like about Triple P is that it has over 40 tip sheets on those common challenges that while parents often feel that they're alone in facing those challenges, they're clearly not, right? Because Triple P developed strategies for them. And I also like that it allows parents to choose from a variety of strategies that fit their family and what works best for each child, because although my sister and I are from the same parents and grew up in the same house, we had very different personalities and needs. So, one specific strategy that I like from Seminar 2 on raising confident, competent children is on becoming independent. And it really helps a child to develop so much to become more and more independent as they grow. And I think about it like it's not very realistic of an expectation if you do your child's laundry for them until they go off to college and then expect that they'll know what to do and to keep on top of it, along with a ton of other new responsibilities that they're facing at that time in their life. They're going to feel overwhelmed, right? So providing them with the opportunities to slowly grow and develop that independence over time is a much better way for them to prepare for life as an adult. And it also builds their self-confidence every time they take on something new. And you can see that in them. They get excited to take on this new challenge or this new thought process. So that's probably my absolute favorite.
So thank you, Caroline. That was really great. I don't know if I was thinking that there is a Triple P strategy called Ask, Say, Do, which really helps instead of getting frustrated with your kids when they can't do the laundry. It sort of explains the best way to teach kids and foster their independence. So we might be able to have a chance to go back and explain Ask, Say, Do later, but I think it's time for our drawing. Yeah.
Yes, so I don't know if I'm able to share my screen. If not, I can just announce. So I put all the names into the drawing. Thank you so much for folks who are entering it. And I have a name here and I'm apologizing because I think I'm going to say it wrong. And so the name is, I believe it's Pranita Tongdara. So I'll throw the name into, I think that came via Facebook. So I will throw it into Zoom chat, and then our folks who are watching via Facebook, maybe Lori, if you're on, if you could announce that on Facebook as well too. So you were our first winner. Congratulations. So you are getting, let me see here. So this will be a $75 gift card to Silly Serrano's in downtown Eau Claire. And then we will also pair it up with a children's book. And then, so you will need to contact the Family Resource Center either via email or give them a call at 715-833-1735. We'll throw that into the chat as well too, and then we can arrange for a time for you to pick up your prize at the Family Resource Center in Eau Claire. So congratulations again.
So I know we had talked about having a very special member of our community call in with a potential parenting problem, so we could hear about that. I'm not sure if he is on the line. And if not, we can talk through Ask, Say, Do, that how we, oh, thank you, Brian. 833-1735 is how you would call the Family Resource Center. So I guess I'm going to ask who's ever on the Zoom call to interrupt me when Michael McCorney joins us from the Family Resource Center, and we've arranged. Oh, he's here. Wonderful. Hi, Michael.
Hello.
And I'm just going to embarrass you to say that the reason we have Triple P in Eau Claire at all was that 3 years ago, Michael emailed me and said, you should apply for this grant. So yay, Michael, thank you so much. And I know congratulations are due because you've had a second child, and I'm hoping that you and your wife, I mean, I hope everything is smooth sailing for you, but if there is an issue that you could share with us, I'm going to invite Sue Kishel, one of our parent educators, to come on the line and just chat you through so people get a sense of what the Triple P experience is like. So thank you for joining us.
Hi, Michael. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Thanks for having me. I'm happy that this wonderful opportunity is being held by the or the excuse me, Family Resource Center. And Triple P is just a great program, and really excited that we're having it in our community. So excited to be here. And yes, I do have 2 kiddos now, a soon to be 4-year-old and a 9-month-old. And, everything is pretty great. So when you have two kids that you just love and all that, that's really all I think you need. But of course there are moments where support is definitely needed too. And so I guess one of the biggest things for us, my wife and I, is sleep is important. And so we were kind of hitting a regression for the youngest, and the oldest, I think, he was kind of struggling with falling asleep. And often nights it'd take him over an hour to kind of get settled down. So, and then he was waking up 2 in the middle of the night, and neither of us were sleeping. So, so the older one is now and sleeping in our bed, and we're sleeping a little bit better. But I know it's going to be a challenge to try to maybe move him back to his room at some point here. So I don't know if there's any sort of advice you'd have, around that.
Well, it's a really, really common problem. Many families, maybe even most families, go through some version of this. One of the discussion groups that I do is called Developing Good Bedtime Routines, and we talk about exactly this kind of thing, because there are so many people who go through it. And what I've really found is that consistency is the most important thing. But it's not just the consistency, it's the confidence of the parents. If you are not really sure if you want him in your bed or not, he's probably going to be in your bed. If it comes to a point where it's not working for you and you really want to get him back, you will be able to do that. And if it is working for you, that's okay. I'm not ever going to say that's wrong. But if you want to have a routine where he's in his own bed every night, it will be something that you'll need to set up and talk about, and he should know exactly what will happen if he gets out of bed, and it should be the same thing every time, other than emergencies and illnesses. So, So we'd love to talk to you about that in more detail, or you could come to one of the discussion groups. We'd be able to get into that.
Yeah. Sounds great. Well, thank you. I anticipate, I mean, we're still getting decent sleep. I did recently had a work trip that took me out of town. So I kind of realized the type of sleep you get when nobody's around, and then came back and realized, maybe I'm not sleeping as well as I thought here. So it's, kind of wonder if it's almost like defeating the purpose, right, of what we're trying to do. So.
Yeah, and when I've talked to people about this, some people choose the strategy of just being really quick and firm about it. You're in your bed, good night. There's no coming out. I'm putting you back with no discussion every time. Other people feel more comfortable with a different approach, where they're sitting in the room for a while, or they're sitting outside the door and gradually they're moving farther away, or they're coming back every few minutes and the intervals get a little bit more spaced out. You can take a very direct or a very gradual or an in-between approach to this, because every family has a little bit of a different personality.
Great.
All right. Well, thank you, Michael. Thank you, Susan. I know it was very quick, so feel free to sign up for Sue's discussion group. But also, I wish you great luck and that a good night's sleep to you and your wife.
Thank you.
Good talking to you, Michael.
Likewise. Yep. Thank you for having me.
All right, we have another special guest on who is going to welcome our Spanish-speaking folks. Is that right?
I believe so. I think I saw Ladies Day joining us. Let's see, are we able to spotlight her?
I'm here.
Lita, could you
Oh.
help our Spanish-speaking folks figure out how to
course.
win their prizes and what
Yeah.
you know about Triple P?
Of course. So, gracias por participar, gracias por estar en esta reunión este día para conocer más sobre el programa de Triple P en español. Soy Lidia Montoya y estoy muy emocionada, igual que ustedes, de poder aprender de este maravilloso programa. Además, ya muy pronto voy a poder ofrecer estas estrategias a toda la comunidad que habla español en esta área. Por favor, asegúrense de entrar su nombre ahorita en el chat para que puedan participar en la rifa de un certificado de $75 para un restaurante local. Si ganan, deben venir al Family Resource Center en el Oakwood Mall, aquí en Eau Claire, y para que puedan reclamar su premio. Si su nombre sale favorecido, llamen al 715-833-1735. Repito, 715-833-1735 o manden un correo electrónico a info@frcs.org. Otra vez, info@frcs.org para que puedan ponerse de acuerdo y puedan recoger su premio. Mucha suerte y espero que ganen. Thank you.
Yes, gracias, Lita. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Do they know to put their names in the chat? I didn't understand everything. Yes, wonderful.
All right, so I'm wondering now, do we want to bring Jerissa from the Ellie Phillips Memorial Public Library to come on, or what do you think the next step should be?
Yes, Jerissa, can we, hi, how are you?
Hi, Jennifer. Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you. I wonder if you could share a little bit of your experience with Triple P. I know quite a bit about it. And also if you have a favorite strategy.
Sure, you bet. So I'm the early literacy outreach librarian at the Ellie Phillips Memorial Public Library, and we partnered with Family Resource Center to host positive parenting virtual seminars at the end of last year and then again at the beginning of this year. And I was personally present at 5 of 6 of the virtual seminars that we offered. And I have to say that I was continually moved by the content, even though I saw most of them twice, and moved by the personal stories that the presenters shared of their examples of Triple P strategies in action, as well as by the questions and comments that came in from the participating parents. I especially appreciate how Triple P empowers parents and caregivers to utilize strategies and tips that are well within reach. And it's also very affirming as a parent, because we can see that we are already using some or many of these tips. So that's really lovely. As well as Triple P encouraging families to use the unique set of tips and strategies that work for their unique family needs. So that's been really lovely. As far as a Triple P strategy that has resonated well with me, I would say personally as a parent, there are so many, but lately I would say the strategies that fall under the category of having a positive learning environment. And those include tips like chatting with your children and listening to them often, giving your children attention. I have found that as a parent, these have been core strategies and tips that not only nurture the development of my children, but nurture my relationship with them. And especially during this COVID era, when work and family life is blended so differently than it ever has been before, I have found that this is an excellent reminder to turn off devices when it's time to turn them off and really attend to my children.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. I have to say you just did a masterful job in facilitating all of those Triple P seminars. So I thank you. And you really helped get the Triple P word out there. So we're really grateful. Today, you're going to be interviewing Sue Kishel. Is that right? About the discussion groups?
That's right. Yes, I'm going to be interviewing Sue. She's going to be telling us more about discussion groups and stepping stones.
Maybe before you do that, would you be willing to give us a brief update on the library? Maybe not everybody knows where you are.
Oh, sure, you bet. So the library is currently located in our temporary facility, which is 2725 Mall Drive, which is in the United Health Building over by Savers and Festival Foods. And we'll be in that facility through about fall of next year, while our downtown location undergoes a major expansion and renovation project. So we're very excited for that work. We are also now open to the public in our temporary facility. Our current hours of operation are listed on the library website, which is ecpubliclibrary.info. And we'll be out in the community outside of the library as well. We have plans to use our book bike, which is a little mobile library that is pulled by a bicycle. And we'll bring that to Carson Park and Owen Park and Phoenix Park on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays this summer, starting right away in June. So lots of opportunities to interact, get a library card, check out reading materials, and to pick up an activity bag from our Dabblebox Makerspace team.
Wonderful. Well, I think, yeah, you and I can take off and let these two have a great conversation. Thank you so much, Jerissa.
You bet. Hi, Sue.
Jerissa.
I'm wondering if you could share with us what your favorite Triple P strategy is.
My favorite one is really the one that's about giving instructions to children. Triple P makes a big point of telling parents, go up close to your child, get down to their level, make eye contact, and make sure you really have their attention before you give them any kind of an instruction. And I'm kind of a holler it from the next room person, I realized. But I've found that if I really do use that strategy, and if I get up close, even if it means I have to go all the way upstairs or I have to stop cooking dinner for a minute, I save time in the end because my kids are so much more responsive when I'm up close to them that way.
Great, thanks for sharing. I have also found that getting on my kids' level, making eye contact, saying their name has also been very effective in giving instructions. Great. So now I'd love to learn more from you about discussion groups and stepping stones. So let's start with discussion groups. Could you just explain a little bit about what they are and how they work?
Sure. So in the discussion groups, we have a group of parents and myself meeting together. Currently, that's something that we're doing over Zoom, and eventually we'll be doing it in person again. And everybody has a workbook. And the workbook, similar to the Triple P tip sheets, has a whole bunch of information about what we're talking about and strategies to deal with it. The topics that we cover are dealing with disobedience, which is really popular because everybody goes through that, managing fighting and aggression, developing good bedtime routines, and hassle-free shopping with children. And they're really fun because there's lots of opportunities for kind of tossing around ideas and experiences, and parents often find they have a lot of things in common. And everybody works out their own sort of strategy for how they're planning to approach the issue with their own kids.
Great, wonderful. The topics that you mentioned sound like issues that all parents deal with at one time or another. Are these one-time events, or are they offered as a series? So if you were to go to the Dealing with Disobedience discussion group, is that a one-time event, or is that a series of discussion groups?
They can be offered either way. Currently, they're functioning more as a one-time event, but we may offer them as a series in the future.
I see. Okay.
Come to any or all.
Gotcha. And if parents wanted to dive a little more deeply into the topic, say if perhaps they are dealing with a stickier issue, what is your recommendation for that?
Well, it really depends on what the issue is, but I might offer to do a session of primary care with them where we would meet a few times to talk about a very specific issue, or they might want to do some group or individual Triple P, which I think we're going to talk about a little bit later, where they can go more in depth to the topics and the strategies with one of the practitioners. And that's a great option for people who really want to kind of learn all the ins and outs.
Great. Okay. So as a parent educator, what do you like about the Triple P discussion groups?
I like the format that gives me more chances to talk with people and hear about their families and figure out what works best on an individual level. I like to hear from people. I like that feedback, and I like to see the parents talking to each other. And what I like about the Triple P discussion groups and overall is that the strategies are so accessible and there's something that can be maintained. There was a study that looked at a group of parents that went to a single dealing with disobedience discussion group, and there was a very significant reduction in issues they were having with their kids. It was like 40% reduction. And then they followed up like 6 months and a year later, and those improvements were maintained. These are not complicated strategies that you lose your ability to do after a week. They're pretty simple things that you can continue with and make a habit of.
Wow, what an incredible impact, a significant reduction in disobedience after attending a single discussion group. That's pretty powerful. I've heard a little bit about Triple P informed workshops. So how are the informed workshops different from the Triple P discussion groups?
They're really very similar. It just allows us to widen the list of topics a little bit. In the workshops, we're working with a tip sheet rather than a workbook, but really we're doing the same process of talking about what a problem is and reasons why it happens and things that we can do about it. And those are topics like dealing with kids having misbehaviors at school or bullying issues. And we just have several other things that we can talk through, and things for parents themselves, like coping with stress for themselves and their kids, where you really see the whole family system is important.
Fantastic. All right. So when are your next discussion groups and how can parents sign up for them?
Well, I do have a discussion group on May 28th. That's the Managing Fighting and Aggression, and people can sign up for that on our website. I think someone will be putting that in the chat, but it's frcec.org, and our upcoming events can always be found there.
Super. One last question before I go, just briefly, if you could share a little bit about Stepping Stones.
Stepping Stones is Triple P for families who have a child with some kind of a developmental delay or developmental disability or a brain difference. And Triple P Stepping Stones isn't dramatically different in its philosophies or its strategies. I wouldn't want to say that somebody who had a child with a disability or a brain difference couldn't come to one of our seminars or our discussion groups, because there are things in those that are helpful for any family. However, once in a while, I know that it can get frustrating for parents to attend something that's meant for a general audience and feel like, oh, but I can't use that because, you know, my child is using a communication device, or because there are physical things that'll stand in the way. So the Stepping Stones curriculum offers many of the same topics and a few extra ones, and looks more closely at some of the reasons for less desired behaviors that can come from a child's more individualized experience, and talks a little bit more about integrating into the community, and again, is very personalized for each family.
Lovely. Great. Thanks for all of that information, Sue. I will give it back to Yia and Jennifer now. Is it time for another drawing?
It is, yes. Thank you so much, Sue, and thank you, Jerissa, for sharing all of that with us and with our audience here today. So if you are just joining us, we are doing drawings every 15 minutes or so, and if you can get your name in the chat box, if you're on Zoom or else via Facebook, I'm going to throw those into our wheel of names real quick here. I'm just adding a couple more into the wheel here, and then if there's any more, let's see here. I don't see any in the chat. And I don't have anything coming through Facebook, so I'm going to spin the wheel and let's see who is our winner. All right, so our winner gets a $75 gift card for Mexican food at Taqueria Poblanita. And a children's book as well too. And so, sorry, I'm giving a thumbs up too. Please do say, said it right. So the winner, I'm not sure if I'm going to say your name right either, and so I apologize ahead of time. It is, I believe it's Gana Berg. I'm going to throw that into the chat here, and then my colleague, Lori, who is also helping us monitor the Facebook, will throw it into Facebook as well too. So just a reminder, if you are a winner of one of our prizes, you will have to stop by the Family Resource Center to pick that up. So please contact the Family Resource Center, whether that's via email or via phone. And then we'll also throw that into the chat as well too. Congratulations.
Nice. I know we're running a little bit late. I have all these great testimonials for people who have gone to Sue's discussion groups that I wanted to share with you all. I will just choose one of them who said, I love having these virtual parenting learning opportunities. It is so helpful to have a periodic parenting check-in while spending so much time at home with my children. So great job, Sue. Next, we have a video that we'd like to share with you. It is another parent testimonial from a parent who's doing a different Triple P program. And I thought it's just nice for parents to hear directly from other parents what they get out of Triple P. So I don't know if we can cue up that.
Triple P helped me in a lot of ways. Like, they got me with the kids in the routine of morning routine, afternoon routine, and bedtime routine. I'm less stressed in the day, and I'm more willing to spend quality time with my kids. That's what Triple P helped me understand, is that parenting and making me a better parent and helping me use the tools that they give me, and my kids are a lot better and I'm less stressed.
Wonderful.
All right.
Routines are so important.
Yes, they are. So Jennifer, let me know. I know we're running short on time, so let me know if you want us to continue with going through the routine piece, or if we want to move on to the next part.
I think we actually have another video of a different parent educator. I just want to give a shout out to say that wonderful parent is doing level 4 with our parent educator, Nikki. So great job, Nikki, teaching about routines. And routines, maybe, oh, and hi, Nikki. So maybe if you're on Facebook or on Zoom, write in the chat if you developed your own routine when you had to stay, during that stay at home order, just so other parents see developing your own routines really is helpful for kind of organizing your day and helping your kids. But I think we should go ahead and move on to Brian's video, if that's okay with you.
Okay. Yeah, that works for me.
Hey everybody, my name is Brian Doxey. I work at the Family Resource Center here in Eau Claire. I'm super excited to be here with you today. I have 2 kids myself, ages 7 and 11. Before I worked at the Family Resource Center, I was a stay-at-home dad myself. So I hear all the trials and tribulations of being a stay-at-home parent and being a parent in general. Definitely not easy, but super rewarding as well. And I'm really excited to work at the Family Resource Center to help with whatever I can, and to be a part of you and your kids' lives in whatever way possible. One of my favorite things about working at the Family Resource Center was when I got to start a dad's group. It's been a little bit of a hiatus right now with COVID and everything, but I'm fingers crossed really hoping to start it back up here again in the fall. The importance of dads just can't be overstated. Families that where both parents are involved and the parents work as a team, when the dad's involved, it's so good for kids. And it's really one of my goals to work at the Family Resource Center to get more dads involved and to really have dads be comfortable being in what they're doing and help in any way I can again. So I really do hope to get my dad's group going back up again, and hoping to see a lot of dads out there. Besides for my dad's group and the other duties I do at the Family Resource Center, I am heavily involved in Triple P. I am trained in all 4 levels of Triple P: Level 2 seminars, Level 3 primary care, which is the one-on-one discussions with families, Level 4 group learning series, which is where I get a group of families, a bunch of families together for an 8-week session that involves a lot of group talking and a lot of discussion. And I also am trained in Level 5, which is family transitions, which is helping parents and families that are going through a separation. They're all great. I love helping families and doing all those programs. One of my favorite things about Triple P is actually seeing the results, helping family through a one-on-one session, and then checking back with them in a couple weeks and actually seeing how the program helped them and how they actually saw results right away. So that is super rewarding. One of the main issues I see a lot of times with some of my families is how to deal with the kids' emotions. How kids it's so hard when kids have those big emotions. How do we deal with it? And it's not that we don't want kids to have emotions. It's healthy to have emotions. It's just we want to be controlled. We want them to be able to control them in a healthy, safe matter that's not going to be disruptive to the family. And as they grow older, they're able to control their emotions more and more and more. The nice thing, and lucky enough, is that Triple P has lots of great strategies that can help families come through these problems. And I want to go through a couple of them with you right now, if I could, please. Number 1 is setting a good example. I know that sounds simple, but kids watch everything we do. I know this doesn't deal with emotions, but I had when my daughter was younger, she always used to say, I don't know. I don't know. She said it so much that another parent came up to me and said, why does your daughter say, I don't know so much? I looked at the other parent and said, I don't know. And it really hit me that kids really do watch everything you do and everything, and they're little sponges. So if you're fighting and if you're emotional in front of your children, that's what they're learning as well. So setting a good example is so important. Another thing we can do is help kids name their emotions. We can do this in a lot of different ways. First of all, I guess kids who are in touch with their emotions, who know how they're feeling and what that means, tend to be more resilient as they grow up in life. So it is very important. We can do this simply by talking to them. I see you're angry. I see you're sad, and helping them name what they're seeing in an open way. We can read books to your children about emotions. Reading books is all helpful in any ways, but there are different books that you can help and that name the emotions as we read them. We can also play some games. Me and my family have played a little charades game where somebody acts out an emotion and the other people try to guess it. So I've done that a couple times too, and that can be kind of fun and educational. Another things we can do, practice deep breathing. For this could be both for you and your kids. Take a deep breath. And slowly release it. Do that a couple times over. It gives you a couple seconds to relax. It helps everybody kind of wind down. It helps everything. So just practice those deep breathing techniques. For both you and your children, it can be beneficial. And lastly, really important not to have big conflicts, big yelling matches in front of your children. That can be something that is highly emotional for kids. That's not saying you shouldn't have discussions in front of your kids. It's very healthy to have problem-solve discussions in front of your kids. Problem solve with your partner, problem solve with your kids. Have discussions with them. Have them help be part of the problem solving, but keep it at a calm level and in a level you want that would be setting a good example. If you're a single parent, do it as well. Talk out loud. What do you think we should have for dinner? Talk through the problems with your kids and have them be a part of the discussion in that too. These are all great strategies. Hope these helped, and hope you're all having a great day. And thanks a lot for listening.
All right. Thank you, Brian, for sharing that with our audience here. It's really helpful. And it's great to know that folks like Brian and Sue at the Family Resource Center can work one-on-one with any parent for 3 to 4 times to address, whatever parenting issue you might be going through. And so parents get to look over a tip sheet full of helpful information all about the problem behavior. And then you come up with your own plan, which tends to work best because, let's face it, parents know their own kids better than we do. And so parents are really in control here of the whole process. And with us as educators, with the Extension Family Resource Center, we've got preschool providers like Carolyn Wee with the YMCA, and then Katie LaRusso at Create a World Preschool, and Lisa Cohn at the Nature Academy, serving to support you. So we even have trained medical providers across the community, at Mayo, Marshfield, Prevea, and Oakleaf as well too.
Yes, Sue, could we show we had a great conversation between 4 medical providers from 4 different clinics. It was such a great conversation, but somehow the technology got messed up, but we had to have a pitch hitter. One of them came back and recorded a brief thing about that one-on-one coaching. Could we see that?
Hi, I'm Mark Gideonson. I'm a family doctor, and I've been practicing in Eau Claire and Augusta for nearly 20 years. I'm here to represent people in the medical community who are trained to provide triple P. You might know some of us. Dr. Robert Bullwinkle is a pediatrician with Marshfield. Others, like Dr. Terry Nordine and Deirdre Paulson, are at Mayo. Some are at Oakleaf, including the pediatric nurse practitioner, Nicole Marty. And some, like Dr. Nadine Nixon and myself, are with Prevea. What I like about Triple P is that it works. It's backed up by 40 years of research from around the world showing that it helps families and communities. Let me tell you how it works. If you came to my office with a parenting concern, I'd whip out one of these Triple P tip sheets, which I really like. This one I've used before. It's about bedtime problems for toddlers. All the tip sheets are organized in a similar fashion. They go over a little bit, explaining what the problem is and why the problem occurs. Then it lays out strategies to prevent the problem and strategies to deal with the problem when it does happen. We would look over the tip sheet together in my office. Then you choose a couple of strategies that you think would work for your family, maybe a couple of prevention strategies and a management strategy or 2, and use those to develop your own personal parenting plan. I am only here to support you. Parents then go home and use these strategies, and then come back in a few weeks and we tweak it together. I've been very happy with the results. And whatever problem you're facing, Triple P probably has a tip sheet to help. Let me bring up a list of their topics. Lots of them. They have over 40 tip sheets. As you look through this list, I'm guessing you're going to see a few that might apply to your situation. If this is something you would like to pursue with your medical provider, and it's one of us that I named earlier, just give our office a call. Or you can always contact the Family Resource Center in Eau Claire at frcec.org, and they'll be delighted to connect you with a Triple P provider.
Great. Well, thank you, Mark. Somebody told me it's your 20th anniversary, wedding anniversary, so happy anniversary. We also have a Blia Schwan who wanted to take some time to speak directly to Hmong speaking families. I don't know if we can hear from her.
Hello, 我叫个多讲贝努诺，哥伦贝湖恩比亚个个dia triple P， คุณจึงต่อจะ triple P ก็โปรแกรมว่าป้าโตก็เที่ยวก็ตุมิญว gia linh đời của cô kia tàu triple P và lũ mong cho có thiết có từ mình nhỏ là sĩ cô bá tàu có một chua cho cháu ở lũ kia triple P và lũ anh kỳ thiết gia linh đời cho cán trọng một số có luôn về cho họ khởi channel thiết chỉ ta linh đời cho hai tiệc có cộng tế nhau cho họ Facebook này chỉ có một trang đời khó comment theo một số có luôn về cho họ để bây giờ mua thòm về dân cho certificate và ý đại nó giờ sẽ chịu chỉ đó là trong một năm mỏ họ yêu khởi chờ năm mỏ do hai tiệc bé trò tàu các lớn bé này chỉ có giờ chủ hồ một tròn đã Family Resource Center tại xã ý chí dì bé bé ý xã bé chí là chỉ có giờ chủ sau email một tờ info@frcec.org một tỉnh sẽ hở cho có một gà có đại certificate rồi của bạn thiết chia sẻ hay tiệc có dựa danh ý đại certificate ở chào.
We're so lucky to have such great partners.
Yes, we are. We're talking with our Hmong speaking audience today who are also joining us. Welcome, everyone. So I think we are set for our next drawing. Okay, so if you are just joining us, please put your name in the chat, either via Zoom or Facebook, wherever you are. We are going to get a drawing going right now, and just throwing in another name that just came in here. So this drawing is going to be for a $75 gift card to Molly Thai in Chippewa Falls, and then we will also be sending, I think we're sending a kids book as well too. Jennifer, can you confirm?
Say that again.
Are we sending will this winner also get a children's book as well too?
Absolutely,
oh,
yes.
Right. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I think those are all the names. I am going to spin it right now. And the winner is, let's see. Okay, so I've got Tonya Bridges. You are the winner, and I will throw your name into the chat via Zoom. And then Lori, if you are out there, Lori's our Triple P practitioner who is monitoring Facebook. If you can also throw that into Facebook as well too. So you'll want to swing by, or you'll want to either call or email the Family Resource Center to coordinate a pickup time then. Congratulations on that.
Wonderful. So I was going to share all these great parent feedback forms from the seminars, because I do think it's important to hear directly from parents. But again, we're kind of running late. One of the things that I liked was people saying techniques that they learned. So one woman said, I really enjoy learning new things at these seminars and being reminded of things that seemed simple, like routines and the importance of talking to your children. I love the technique of getting kids to fix things instead of just saying they're sorry. And I'm also excited about setting goals with our 3-year-old. Thank you so much. That's wonderful. I wonder now, is it Yia? Are you going to be interviewing? I know it's got to be kind of short, but are you able to interview Brian and Nikki about level 4?
I am, yes. So I've got just a few questions. We can keep it very brief. I know we were just down to our last half hour. We've got a lot of great information we want to get in here. So I've got Brian here with me, and I'm just going to ask Brian a few questions. Brian and Nikki, welcome Nikki, about what they're doing with Triple P at this level. And so Brian and Nikki, you can take turns, maybe alternating, or if you both want to chime in, you can. We'll just dedicate a few minutes to this. So we've talked about different programs within Triple P, and I'm wondering if you can just share briefly, what makes group Triple P different from those other levels, those other programs?
Well, so we do different things for level 4. I am in charge of doing the group discussion, and it really, really gets into it. It really lets families really practice the strategies. We get really in depth. We practice the strategies not only during the session, the 2-hour Zoom session, but also gives them to do homework and practice between sessions, and then have me give them feedback the next week. So we really get into a lot of depth of them. We hear from other parents, and parents discuss with each other in my series. It's a really great series, 8 weeks long. The first 4 are all together in a big block, and then the last 4 are individual phone calls. So I really help tailor their family's plans to make sure it's something that sticks with them, and they really can that makes sure that works for them for the over time instead of just for those few weeks.
I do the individual care. So a family will sign up with me and we'll meet with them for about an hour each week for 10 to 12 weeks. And also we get to go through all the Triple P strategies and really work with what's going to work and meet their needs. People can get it individualized just to learn about it, but also if they have children who actually are on the clinical range of having some pretty big issues with behavior, we can really tailor it to what will work for that family. And what I love is that I don't tell families what to do. I introduce the strategies and we work together to figure out what's going to work best for them. And I'm with them long enough, 10 to 12 weeks is long enough to really establish some new patterns and make it really sustainable long-term.
That's wonderful. Thank you both for sharing that. So can you share a little bit more too about what is currently being offered or maybe upcoming offerings?
Sure. For the group series, we're in kind of we're halfway through. We're in week 6 right now of the one we're offering right now. So we're too far into that one, but it's been great. We really enjoyed the group I have. I'm going to take the summer off, but then I hope to offer it again next fall. Thinking starting Tuesday, October 5th is the tentative day we're going to start it again in the evening. But we definitely will be offering it at least twice a year, if not more, if there's a need for the group series.
Individual care, of course, is sign up and I will schedule with you. So you can reach us online. The information I see is in the chat and you can always just hook up with me. I'm extension 1.
All right, well, thank you both for sharing more about what you're doing with our Triple P team and with our community. I really appreciate it. And I know we're just a little bit short on time, and so we've had to cut your interview short, but I do appreciate you both being here. So thank you for participating.
Thanks, Ia.
Can you both stay on? Because I think we have a caller with a parenting issue that maybe you could help us help her.
Hello. Hello. I am calling to get your advice about a situation that is probably pretty common, but one that we really get overwhelmed with and often can't think of strategies. This is one where, a child who's like 5, 6 years old tends to have big emotions, is what they're called, big emotions. And when her mom comes home from work, her mom's tired, everything's busy, you got to get dinner ready, got to get things going, so on and so forth. And this is a time when the mom asks the child to do something and there is a major meltdown. The request does not fit the meltdown at all. And then mom starts to dread coming home to deal with the meltdown.
Right. So I'm getting the sense that it feels like this is happening pretty frequently.
Yes.
Kathy, could you describe what happened, the last incident, if you can just briefly just sum up the last time this happened? What did it look like?
It looked like mom came home and the child was watching something on TV. And mom said we were going to eat dinner, so we needed to stop that. So it was a transition time. And that led to a major screaming, I don't want to do that right now, and just a lot of emotion.
Okay, so how was that able to be brought down so that the child was able to come and have supper and follow instructions?
Well, in this situation, I think it was sort of like persevere, live through the meltdown till the girl calms down, and then talk to her about moving on.
Okay.
Like to see something better than that.
Kathy, have you heard any of the strategies that we suggest for transitioning through moments in the day?
Actually, I haven't.
Okay, well, at our seminars, we suggest multiple strategies, and we suggest that when it's time to help a child transition through a time, we first of all suggest letting them know in advance what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of rehearsal with the children as far as how we do things. And then we suggest ourselves as the adult going to the child, getting nice and close so that you don't have to be yelling,
Mm-hmm.
get their attention, get down to their eye level so you're not standing over them, and then give the command in a nice, calm, firm tone. And so that's how we start with all those strategies. Do any of those strategies sound like something that could be incorporated in your home?
You know, I think they could. I think slowing it down, making it more personable. So the child is, you know, you're not just saying dinner time, everyone come, but that you're actually giving your child some positive attention. I think that's a great idea.
So you think maybe that if you try to change a couple of things like that, that moving forward, this could help smooth those things over?
Yeah, I think it could. And actually, when you point that out, I imagine the parent needs to take a breather when they walk in the door so that they're letting go of some of their own tension and anxiety before they start communicating with the other people.
Well, Kathy, I tell you what, if you try implementing a couple of these strategies and you're still finding that things don't seem to be smoothing out too much,
Mm-hmm.
I would love to meet with you more individually and look more deeply into some more strategies that we could potentially incorporate to smooth this bumpy road out a little bit.
Well, we're ready for change, so that's great to know.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kathy.
Yep.
All right, well, thank you for sharing. I know it's always awkward to call in and share things that you're struggling with, but I hope people are getting the sense that if you're having some challenges at home, that you are not alone, that this is very common. Yeah, I realize we've gotten through so much of today, and I don't think I have heard what your favorite triple P strategy is. Would you be willing to share?
Yeah, sure. You know, I think I'd have to think about it for a little bit here. I will just say, just giving a shout out to the Triple P team here in Eau Claire. I am unbelievably lucky that I get to work with everyone. We have such a great team here. We're very large, and you know, it's a lot because of the Family Resource Center and the team that you have and the way that you're able to collaborate across all of these other agencies. I'm also very lucky that I have an extension team that is being trained in Triple P, and we are trained and we're getting additional training as well too. So I'm able to offer that statewide as well. So really getting the best of both worlds. And I've appreciated the opportunities to also work on some materials and getting those translated in Mo. We are working to make Triple P as accessible as possible. And so something really great that I get to work on. But so back to the favorite strategy, I would say that, you know, it might be the technique of always starting with what you did well. I think that as parents, caregivers, as adults, sometimes we can really beat ourselves up for maybe, you know, I slip into a tone that's not as pleasant. I start yelling at my niece, my nephew. I think that I might not be a good parent, a caregiver, or an aunt. And Triple P goes against this, you know, by starting off identifying what you did really well. So maybe you yelled at your child. No one is perfect. We've all been there. But think about what you did do well. So, you know, we would ask parents to come up with 2 things that they've done well. And we celebrate those 2 wins with them. And it's only until we come up with those 2 wins, you know, so maybe it's, you know what, I gave really clear instructions to my kiddo. I told them what to stop doing and I told them what to do instead. So you're working on those stop and start instructions. Or maybe it's giving praise. You know, I asked them to do something, they did it, and I said, thanks for doing what I asked you right away. So it's when we find these 2 wins that we're then able to celebrate it, and then we move into, you know, what is something that we can do differently? What is something that you want to do differently? And you might maybe you ended up yelling this time around. You didn't intend to. Old habits are very hard to break. In fact, my seminar last night, the big question that came up was, how do I break the cycle of yelling? And habits are hard to break. Recognizing that it is a cycle, though, is a very great start. So how do you think you might do it differently next time? And I really like that, leading with what they did well, which is so important.
That is a really great tip. And I find that I use that in my life, even separate from parenting. Like if I make a mistake and I start going into a negative space, I actually sort of talk back to myself and say, okay, well, what are 2 things that I did really well? And then I'll tell myself that, and it just puts me in a better space.
Yeah, and it connects to another Triple P strategy. So if you are taking notes and you want to add another strategy to your toolbox, so one of those is asking children to evaluate themselves. So we aren't the ones saying good job all the time, right? So you might say, hey, you know what, but I really like this drawing and I'm curious, what do you like best about it, and you listen to them and you might say, yes, I see that. What else do you feel you did well? And then maybe, is there something you would do differently next time? So you're giving them the power to evaluate their own work, like helping them set their own goals. And this can really build their self-confidence.
That's a good point. I hadn't connected that. Also, in the example that you gave, it enables kids to have more realistic self-assessments, right? Kids and sometimes adults often see themselves as all bad or all good, whereas all of us are a combination, right? Where there are things that we're really excellent at and some things we need to work on. So getting kids in the habit of being realistic in their own self-evaluation, I think is really great.
Yes, it is. All right, so I see Lori threw in a reminder about the drawing. We do have a drawing. It is happening right now. So if you are just joining us, we are doing drawings every 15 minutes or so for prizes. If you're joining us via Facebook, welcome. Please throw your name into the Facebook comment. And then if you're via Zoom, please throw it into the chat box. We are gathering these right now. And I am going to, let me just do a quick check to make sure I don't have any. All right, so I don't have any new names coming in. I'm going to press this button and let's see who our winner is. So our winner is going to get a $75 gift card to Altoona Family Restaurant with the children's book. And that winner is Shannon Lemmer. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. So Shannon Lemmer, I'm going to throw your name into the Zoom chat box. And Lori, my colleague who is watching via, who is monitoring Facebook, if you can get that into Facebook as well too. Make sure, Shannon, that you either call the Family Resource Center or email to pick up your prize then. Congratulations.
Yay. Speaking of Altoona, it makes me think of the Eastern communities in Eau Claire. So not just Altoona, but also Fall Creek and Augusta and Fairchild. And it's really important to us. We want to include people who speak different languages and also people who live in different parts of our county in our Triple P efforts. And I'd like to give a shout out now to the Augusta school system. They now have all level 2, level 3, and level 4 available to all their folks out there. And we actually have a little video to play.
Hi everyone, Caroline from the Y again, and I am here now with our rural community of Augusta, Fairchild, to talk about what's going on with Triple P there. Mandy, do you want to tell us about your connection?
Sure. I'm Mandy, the partnership coordinator at Augusta Elementary School. And we just recently actually brought the seminar series here to Augusta. We had our first seminar on Tuesday. We have another one coming up May 25th on raising competent children and on June 8th on raising resilient children. I'm really excited that we were able to bring the seminar series to Augusta, and I can't wait to start offering discussion groups as well in the future.
Awesome. Thank you, Mandy. How about you, Ryan?
Hello, everyone. I'm Ryan Nelson. I'm the superintendent of the school district here in Augusta, and I am also a parent and have actually participated in some of the trainings as a parent as well. I am not somebody that has training with Triple P, but I am very familiar with it and the resource that it can serve parents both in our community here in Augusta, but also throughout our county. One of the initial reasons that we were turned on to Triple P was the fact that parenting is a very difficult job. In fact, one of our wise educators here in Augusta once told me, as I was on the verge of becoming a parent, that parenting is the most challenging yet most rewarding job any adult will ever have. And I think there's a lot of truth in that. So regardless of our parental backgrounds and experiences, I think the strategies that are offered and are taught through the Triple P program are essential in helping parents grow as parents themselves, but also in helping their children grow into, become adolescents and teenagers and prepare them for a successful life. The knowledge that can be gained through this training and these offerings are really some of the best I've experienced in my 16 years as an educator.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mandy and Ryan, and kudos to you. I should say too that both the Augusta school system and the Eau Claire area school district have trained 4 people in Triple P. They've been wonderful partners, and we would love to train folks in Altoona and Fall Creek as well. So shout out to them as well.
That's a good point. And also when we did our research, when we were bringing Triple P to Eau Claire, one of the most popular places that parents said that they would want to get these sort of training was in school. So we are looking to train more people. So if anybody from Altoona or Fall Creek or somebody who knows somebody who might want to be trained, that would be great.
Yeah, and if you know too where we should offer these programs, feel free to let us know. I mean, Lori Melnori with the Eau Claire Area School District, she and I have offered seminars with the Beacon House. I'm at the library as well too, and I believe the Family Resource Center has been offering seminars. Was it Hope Gospel, Jennifer? Was that the one?
Yes, and with Robert Bullwinkle, we actually, our staff provided seminars at Bolton Refuge House too. And Terry Nordine, Mark Gideonson, Caroline Wee, you and Lori, and all the FRC folks have presented through the Ellie Phillips Library. So many thanks to Jerissa again.
Yeah, so we would love to bring seminars to folks at work as a part of Lunch and Learns, maybe at Beaver Creek Reserve or as a part of 4-H. So if you are out there and you have any ideas or contacts, please let us know. You can either throw it into the chat, whether it's Zoom or Facebook, or reach out to us. Our team is always looking to expand and go into spaces where people are and really meeting people where they're at.
So thank you all for helping us bring Triple P to everyone. We've caught up. I don't know how we did that, but we amazingly did, which means we have time to watch a wonderful video that our own Sue Kishel from the Family Resource Center made, kind of about bringing more positive to your days.
This is a little graphic that I really like to use when I'm talking about how we should be spending our time implementing all these Triple P strategies, and to remind myself how I should spend my own time with my kids. The goal is more positive in your days, and the circle that you see here is like your whole life with your kids, all the time that you have with them. And if you take a look at the circle, the very biggest part is in blue, and it's labeled developing positive relationships. And relationship building activities like talking to your kids and listening to what they have to say, doing special things together and cuddling them. These are the things that really build the strong bonds between parents and children that make children want to please parents and caregivers and give them the emotional health that they need so that they can concentrate on their own behaviors. The second biggest part of that circle is in yellow, and it's encouraging desirable behavior. And by desirable behavior, we mean not bringing you breakfast in bed, but just the really simple things like playing nicely with their siblings or doing their chores in a timely manner, or getting good grades. And by praising and giving focus to those things that our children already do well, it helps to build their confidence. It inspires them to continue doing those things that we want to see them doing. And it helps them to feel like they are good kids and that they can do a good job, even with the things that they're still working on. The next part of the circle that you'll see is teaching new skills and behaviors. That's really important because any kind of consequence that we might impose on kids for misbehaviors is not going to have any effect on their ability to meet whatever expectation that we have for them. So it's really important that instead of just criticizing or punishing misbehavior, that we teach children what we want them to do instead. And as much as possible, we want to teach them in advance so that they know what's expected, they know what to do, and they know that they can ask for help. The very smallest part of the circle is managing misbehavior. And if we really put in the time with all these other parts of the circle, encouraging our kids and building up their abilities, we really should spend a lot less time needing to manage misbehavior. So if I find myself having to do that a lot in that green part of the circle, managing problem behaviors, that tells me that I have to go back and kind of look at all these other parts of the circle. Am I doing enough relationship building, spending time with my kids? Am I praising what they're doing well? And am I really teaching them what they need to know to succeed at whatever task is in front of them? I hope that helps. It really helps me to put all these little strategies into a big picture that gives me a philosophy to follow. So I hope you like that too.
All right, thank you so much, Sue. That was very informative. So Jennifer, I'm wondering, do we have enough time to play our last testimonial? Got a mother of a fairy.
So it's not anything that's played. I'm going to read it to you. Somebody actually emailed this to the Family Resource Center. She and her husband had been going to our Saturday seminar series, and their daughter had been listening in for the things. And I think one of the strategies we talked about was to have fun with your kids, be playful and stuff. So this person shared in, had to share this story with you guys. My husband and I have been attending the positive parenting seminars the last few Saturdays, and I was joking around with my 5-year-old daughter, and I told her I thought she was actually a fairy because she loves fairies. And I gave her my totally convincing reasoning why. She stops, looks at me straight in the face, and totally seriously says, "Mom, I think you need to take another parenting class. They didn't even teach you I'm a human." And she said, "Thought you guys would get a chuckle from that. But seriously, though, we've been enjoying the seminars and are already seeing a difference."
Thank you for sharing that with us, Jennifer. That's a funny story.
Yeah, I just loved it, and I'm so grateful to her for sharing it. Just made us all laugh. And I think before our last drawing, I just want to take a second to thank everybody who is listening, either on the Zoom call or through Facebook land. We know time is precious these days, so thank you for spending it learning about Triple P with us. And also want to thank all the providers who are on the line or who took time to share their stories or made a recording or tell us something that they could share. I just loved what Sue said. It's reflected back to me what Jerissa said at the beginning, that it's really so important to invest in those beginning relationships. And I just love how many people are here today kind of sharing that message with our community, including you, Yia. You were the impetus behind this Facebook Live. This would never have happened without you. So thank you so much.
Yes, right back at you, Jennifer. I'm so grateful to be part of this team and to have you on board leading this group. We have such a wonderful group of practitioners here, and I've really enjoyed working with everyone. So like Jennifer said, we have one more drawing. And so we have been doing drawings throughout the entire event. Our final one is going to be a $75 gift card to Acoustic Cafe in downtown Eau Claire, and a children's book as well too. So if you haven't yet, I'm going to give you like 10 seconds to type your name in the Zoom chat or else Facebook as well too. And then my colleague Lori is going to shoot those my way, and I'm going to throw them into the wheel of names here. We will generate that. So I'm just going to give.
Could we play the last video while we're waiting to get that name?
Yeah, that would be great. All right. So we've got one more
That's
video.
where you
here
get to
to
hear
show.
the Australian accent.
As parents, we want our children to be happy at home, at school, and with their friends. The Triple P Positive Parenting Program can help make that happen. We'll give you new ideas to build a strong, loving relationship with your child and guide their development, behavior, and emotions as they grow. And as you follow our tips, you'll see it's not just your child who benefits, you'll enjoy parenting more too. Because positive parenting can help your whole family have a happy, calm, and healthy life.
Positive parenting is really about having strong relationships with children, good communication, and positive attention. It encourages children to develop the skills they need to do well in life, like getting on with others, managing their emotions and feelings, doing their best, and becoming independent and learning to feel good about themselves.
Early childhood is the all-important time for your child's development. And children who grow up with positive parenting are more likely to do well and less likely to have behavioral and emotional problems.
The strategies help children learn to manage their emotions, to develop self-control, and to learn what is expected of them in different situations. Positive parenting helps you deal with the most common problems with children, like not doing what they're asked to do, interrupting, trouble with mealtime and bedtime routines, and how they interact with technology, like managing screen time and social media. You can also use the same strategies for more serious problems like fighting and aggression.
Sometimes being a parent is tiring and frustrating, but I'm willing to give this a try. I want to do the best for my family and for my child.
Hi, Yolanda, it's Mom. Hi, Mom. I just want to check that you have packed everything. Yes, yeah, I double checked. Oh, that's great. I think the train is coming soon, so have a good day. Love you, Mom. I love you too. Bye.
More than 40 years of ongoing research with thousands of families all around the world shows that these strategies really work.
Well, each parent has their own journey. There's no single right way to be a parent, and ultimately it is up to each of us to decide our own values and approach to parenting. Our aim as a parent is to bring up the next generation in a loving and nurturing world and to create opportunities for them to grow into healthy, well-adjusted adults.
Oink, oink. I'm walking. What did you see?
A duck.
Well, that makes you feel good. So yeah, who's our winner?
Yes, so our winner for our last prize here for that $75 gift card to Acoustic Cafe is going to be